Hello, my sweet friend. I am Cristina Arevalo, a cake decorator, coach, and teacher, and I am here to empower my fellow cake artists to unleash their creativity and unite as a strong cake community. Whether you are a seasoned professional or just starting out, this podcast is here to support and empower you on your cake decorating journey. Let me coach you for success by setting achievable goals, understanding that managing your time and having a positive mindset, knowing your customers, and learning how to teach your craft are all as important as flour, sugar, and eggs. I'll share what has worked for me from a very personal and relatable perspective. My goal is to help you establish your presence, reduce stress related to time and working hours, and engage in cake collaborations and competitions. Eventually, you could become that featured cake artist in a magazine or teach at international events just like me. Welcome to the Art Cake Coach podcast. Well, hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to another episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Christina here, and super happy to have you all back here for another week, another episode. First of all, I have to apologize because last week I didn't release an episode last week. It was Cake Friends Day Creative 5th anniversary, and things got a little more hectic than I thought with all the demos on the weekend. There was cake collaboration revealed, and there was also I had two cake collaborations to finish my piece for those collaborations. So it was a big hectic with everything on top of family stuff and the usual my work that I didn't have the proper time. I'm not going to say I didn't have the time. I didn't have the proper time to sit down and do this episode because I don't like to do it in a rush. I don't like to do it without any planning and without anything. So the episode is going to air today, but as I always take everything as a learning curve, there's something I learned last week. I moved the episodes from Tuesday to Friday because Friday was the day that I had more time. But I realized that because that is the day that I have more time, because I don't teach on Fridays, I ended up booking a lot of things for Friday and it was not happening. So, newsflash, episodes are back on Tuesday. And it just makes sense, It's like the podcast is for Tuesdays. It makes sense. I don't know, somehow, intuitively, it makes sense to be on a Tuesday. So the episodes are back on Tuesday. I probably won't record them live on the same day like I used to, but I'll try. I'll keep it fresh anyway. So this episode today was the episode that's supposed to happen last week, and it's about Cake Friends Stay Creative, about our fifth anniversary. I can now tell you what happened on the anniversary and my takeaway from these 5 years of running this cake community. So don't go anywhere because the episode is about to start. Hey, my sweet friend, if you like this episode and enjoy this podcast, there is only one thing I want from you. Please like, follow, and leave me a started review in any of your favorite podcast platform where you're listening to this podcast now. This way, this program can keep growing. The algorithm will show it to more cake artists who will benefit from it. Download the episode, share it on your social media, and tag me, and I'll gladly tag you and follow you back. I would love to hear what you have to say. You can leave me a voice message on Anchor, Spotify for podcasters, answer the questions and polls on the episode, or leave me a comment on my social media. Even if you don't like what I say, I would love to hear your opinion. And let me invite you to follow me on Instagram as @theartcakecoach or in any of my social media accounts. I'll leave you all the links in the description of this episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Art Cake Coach podcast.
Pack your body bags. We're going on a slaycation. Tim, what's a slaycation?
A slaycation is a murder or mysterious death that happens while you're on vacation.
If you like to mix humor with horror and travel,
join me, Kim Davis,
And me, Adam Tex Davis.
And me, Jerry Colbert.
As we look at the craziest slaycations that will have you asking, what the F is wrong with people? You can find Slaycation on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Just remember, getting away can be murder.
Hello and welcome back, my sweet friends. I was having a cup of coffee. And welcome back to this episode about the 5th anniversary of Cake Friends Stay Creative. Well, what do I have to say about this? A lot, but I'm going to try to keep it simple because I've been doing episodes about Cake Friends Stay Creative since we started. So in episode number 2 of this podcast, you can find all the story of how it was created during the pandemic and all of that. I won't say it again. Just go and check it out because it's a nice episode. It's actually one of my most listened solo episodes because usually the interviews are the ones that get the more conversion. But as a solo episode, I think that's one of the main ones that has become more popular. Then since 3 years ago, every time Cake Friends Stay Creative, so there must be a couple of episodes there also on the celebration of Cake Friends Stay Creative's anniversary. So I won't tell you the story again. Actually, last year, I'm just going to close my window. Give me a second. There you go. See, I'm keep it personal and simple. Closing the window because it's getting chilly again. This weather is not changing. Okay, so back to Cake Friends Stay Creative. Last year, I did an episode where I share with you 4 takeaways from the anniversary of our cake community. So this year, I'm not going to do anything differently. I'm going to add one more because there's one more year. But before we get into that, I just want to share with you what we did this year to celebrate. And my let's say my feedback on that, my own feedback on that. So this year we did the 3rd edition of Creative Cake Collaboration. It's a cake collaboration that we do every year when we celebrate the community's anniversary. And the idea of the collaboration is that there's no theme. The theme is creativity. So you can share any work of your own doing, your own creation, where you showcase your own creativity, right? And it can actually it doesn't have to be even a new piece. It could be something that you already made during this year and you're proud of and is it's your own. You didn't copy the design. It was not like the client said, but it's your own creation. And the idea is to celebrate creativity. That's it. We had less entries this year. We had only 15 or 16 entries. When previous years we had, around 20 something, almost 30. And I have to say, cake collaborations have been diminishing, had been participation in cake, not cake collaborations because there are a lot out there, but participation has been diminishing. There is a couple of factors that come to my head. One is cake artists are busier than they used to be years ago because everything, after the reset of the pandemic years, people had to go back to work and they are busier, and that's good. And they have to take care of their business, so they have not as much time as they used to have for cake collaborations. Second, materials have become very expensive. Sponsorships by some products have become less and less. So it's, cake artists have to wonder, cake decorators, they have to wonder, is like, should I use the material that I have for clients or should I use it for a cake collaboration? So what benefit is cake collaborations going to take me? So yeah, even though I'm all pro cake collaborations, I run a couple of them a year. I participate in a lot of them. I think it's positive, but I have to be honest. Cake collaborations kind of have lost their goal because there's so many. Everybody's creating, everybody's free to do it, but everybody's creating so many cake collaborations. Themes have been a little bit repetitive. the participation has been lower their standards, I will say. People is just doing it for the sake of doing it, so it's not like they're really committed or inspired to it. Or people are not really participants. When I say people, I say cake artists who participate have not be really being that supportive of the collaborations. They're just there to showcase their work, share their work, but they're not promoting the page of the collaboration. Also, Facebook, which is where most of the collaborations run, have been changing rules and standards of groups and pages. So it's not as appealing as it used to be. There's a lot of factors. Um, and less participation. I mean, sorry, I'm taking my coffee. There's a lot of things that have come into stake when it comes to participating. So I've had a lot of new members participating, people who had never tried, which I encourage them to do it because it's a way to get out of your comfort zone and showcase your work without the limitations of a client. Not that clients are limiting, but you know what I mean. It means that a client will tell you what the client will tell you, I want this, and you will have to stick to that. And there's a price point, all of that. With the cake collaborations, you have more freedom. So it's great for getting out of your comfort zone. It's great for trying out new techniques to prove yourself that you can do something different than what people is used to see from you. But I have to say the quality has been diminishing of both artist, not artist. The quality of the work that is presented and the quantity of cake collaborations have been increasing, which is hard to keep up with. Um, I don't know what the solution is. I don't know if the solution is to stop for a while, recap, and come back with a more structured cake collaboration. I don't know, offer, I guess. I don't know if it is to just relax and go with the flow and see what happens. But I have to say, it's something that I respect a lot when an artist give me their work to showcase in a collaboration because it's their work. I respect that. And for the person organizing the collaboration, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of working hours to set up everything. So not having the conversion or not having the visibility that is the minimum require or that is wished for is discouraging. I will say it's discouraging, and I think we need to reframe what cake collaborations should be. I know some cake friends and some couple of groups who they run private cake collaborations, so it's invitation only. They study the artist, so the standards are very high. It's very exclusive. Okay, I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's not what I usually do. I like to give opportunity to everyone, but I'm not saying that it's better or worse. I'm just saying it's another way. But definitely, we need to rethink cake collaborations. Uh, to maybe a more win-win situation for everyone and not just here's my work and let me show myself and that's it. And it's not only about getting into magazines because that's another thing why cake artists do it because they know they're going to be featured in magazines, and sometimes it's not the case. So yeah, we need to reframe cake collaborations. That was my takeaway from cake collaborations this year. I'm going to keep running this one every year. Actually, I think next year is going to be the main focus of the anniversary of Cake Friends Day Creative is going to be the collaboration and not the demos. And I'm going to get to that in a second. And yeah, but I'm going to reframe that. I have an upcoming collaboration about Harry Potter, which I do every 2 years. I don't. This is not yearly; it's every 2 years, and I'm trying to make it a little bit different. Let's see if this one works out. But that's one of the events that we had this weekend, the reveal of the cake collaboration. Congratulations, by the way, to all the artists who participated. I always said I don't mind showing a cake collaboration with 3 cake artists or with 100 cake artists. For me, it is a collaboration. People got together and showcased their best work, and I'm proud of that. So it was only 15, but I'm happy and proud of everyone who did it. You did an amazing job. And they answer when I call. They answer. So for me, that shows commitment from their part. So I need to be committed to them as well. And I respect that a lot. So thank you very much to all who participated. You want to check out this year's cake collaboration, or Creative Cake Collaboration, third edition. I'm going to leave the links to the collaboration in the description of the episode. Uh, okay, next topic. Next topic is the anniversary demos. We did some anniversary demos this year, as we always do, with our lineup of amazing teachers. I do run a group within Cake Friends Stay Creative that is only for the teachers and the cake artists who have taught um, at any point during these 5 years in Cake Friends Stay Creative. First of all, because we can keep communication flowing only with the teachers, and I don't have to be sending private message to everyone. So all of the communication is there in the group. And second, because they deserve it. They're the best. They're the greatest. They're amazing cake artists, friends now, and we have this group of people who always respond when I ask them to participate. However, I also have to say that the participation this year had decreased. I remember a year or two when we had to do a full week of demos, of live demos, because we had so many teachers line up that we couldn't do it. And this year, it was tough to fill a whole weekend. So, yeah, less participation. Everybody's busier. I know that. Everybody's busier. Everybody has a lot to do, a lot to take care of. We have businesses to run. And I don't blame them, no, but it has decreased. And also a lot of teachers are working in their own businesses, which is, I mean, yes, you have to do it. You have to do work on your business. And when it comes to the time that I'm going to do a free demo for another group, I don't know. So we had less teachers this year. That doesn't mean we had great teachers. We had great teachers this year, award-winning teachers. We had great demos. We had great demos for all levels of expertise, from beginners to advanced. Everybody was so nice. Everybody said so many beautiful things about the group, and I really, really thank you for it. However, the conversion of people watching the demos was also low, also very low. Sorry, finishing my coffee. It was also very low. If we had, I think in the top hours, we had 15 people watching the class. That's it. There were points that our classes had 1 to 0 viewers at the time. Of course, the visualizations come later. The reach and the engagement comes later, and it's good to keep up with those statistics and not just the number that we see on the screen when we're doing the live. But I have to say, as a teacher, is discouraging. It's discouraging because you feel like you're talking to the wall. So said that, I think we need to reframe also that, and I'm going to try a different approach next year. I'm going to try the pre-recorded classes, and the pre-recorded classes can be shared in different platforms. So there might be a YouTube channel for Cake Friends Stay Creative in the horizon. Just another thing that I will do because since I don't have anything else to do, why not? Let's create a YouTube channel for Cake Friends Stay Creative. Yeah, I think the teachers deserve it and the members deserve it, because and I'm not blaming that you're not there live. I know that you can't, because for me to be live with all the teachers during the whole weekend was hard. I mean, I had things to do. I had dinner, lunch to cook. I had to go out to the supermarket. So I was in the supermarket doing my shopping with the phone, looking at the teacher sending messages in hard and trying to engage the post. So it's not easy. So maybe pre-recorded class will be the answer for next year. I think so. And I really have to thank a few of my members of Cake for Stay Creative who were there, not only were there most of the classes, but were very participative, where I mean, they even call me like in private messages, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't watch all classes today." And I'm going to give a very special shout out, and I'm sure you're listening, to Claire from Sugar Pro, and to, um, oh my God, Emery from the UK, because I know you've been there. You were there the whole weekend, and I'm sorry I had a blank with your names, guys, but I know you were there. Yes, I know you were there, and I know you were very participative. You were talking to the teachers. You were amazing, fantastic. So thank you so much. Amanda Emery. What did I say, Emery? Amanda. Oh God. So Amanda, thank you so much. I'm sorry. I mean, she listens to the podcast every like week, and I just missed her name. Sorry, sweetie. But yeah, Amanda and Claire. Big shout out for both of you. Um, Sorry, it's just a lot of my head. But big shout out to both of you, because you were so amazing that I had teachers ask me and contact me like, who's Amanda, and who's Sugar Pro, because they were so nice. They were always commenting, and they were always there. So thank you so much. So this is a shout out for both of you. Sending you love. Thank you from my teachers as well. So yeah, the demos happened. It was good. It was fun, though. We learned a lot. It was really, really, really nice. Facebook has changed so much. That also doesn't help. The group is private, which is hard for the group to. It's hard now. We cannot share the demos outside of the group. It has to be only for members. We can download it later, but it's a whole different game. So yeah, the group had some. We used to have like hundreds of new members when we had demos, and I think we barely had like 20 new members this year with the demos. So will I be holding more demos this year? I don't know. Ask me that again in December, because I was thinking of demos for Christmas or Halloween. So maybe, maybe. Uh, there is one demo event coming up, but it's for baking, not decorating, that we had planned, and it's coming up April or May. But the other demos, the decorative demos from my teachers, I don't know. Like I said, ask me about that again in November. I think we need to recap, rethink, restructure. But that's part of the business. And that's why I'm doing this episode today, because you probably wonder, what's the point, Christina? Well, the point is, when you try something in your business, and even though I don't make anything from my Cake for Stay Creative, I don't make any money with it, it's a business. It's a business in itself. I take it as so. And you have after you do anything, so let's say you create a campaign for your cake business. Let's say you're creating I don't know, you're doing a series of Instagram posts, or you're doing live demos from your pages, whatever it is. Do it, think about it, recap, study, feedback, what happened, what didn't happen, check the statistics, check everything. Like after I talk to you, I'm going to sit down and do the statistics on the hours that we had more engagement, the teachers and the countries that had more engagement, because that will tell me what worked and what didn't work, and this will be communicated to the teachers as well. So do it. That's the point of this, just to share with you that it's very important to sit down and see what worked and what didn't work, and to be honest with yourself. I always tell you that this podcast is my confessionary, so I'm not going to come here and tell you, oh, it was all perfect, we had 1,000 viewers. No, we didn't have 1,000 viewers. We didn't have the conversion that we had years prior. I'm trying to look at the reason why I think it's a group of reasons. It's not just one reason. I could also say that maybe I needed to promote this with farther ahead. I mean, with longer time for promotion, probably. I think that's one of the things that need to be taken in consideration right now, because we used to do demos. I mean, I used to structure demos in a month and we had many viewers, and not this time. So, yeah, there's a lot of things into consideration. And my takeaway from this for you, for your cake business, is whatever you do, sit down, recap, see the statistic, see if it worked. If it didn't, why not, and pivot, change, restructure, because that's it. That's what makes a business a business. That's what keeps us going. A business is not just I created my business, I sold my products, I became a millionaire. That's it. Bye-bye. No, it's a series of things. It's like when you get married. You dream with your wedding day, you prepare for your wedding day. Honey, the real work comes after all the years that you're going to spend together with that person. So it's in the everyday things. And this is part of the everyday marriage of your business. So this is about what happened last weekend, and don't go anywhere. This is kind of long. Don't go anywhere because I'm going to come back with my 5 takeaways from another year of Cake Friends Stay Creative. See you in a bit. The Art Cake Coach podcast welcomes the Sweet Chalet Shop as one of our sponsors. Located in Stamford, Florida, the Sweet Chalet Shop inspires creativity, talent, and passion for sugar art. The stores offer a space to learn, bake, and create sugar masterpieces. Since opening in 2015, it has brought the best products, techniques, and teachers to the community, offering classes and mentorship for all skill levels. It focuses on innovating, offering a wide range of edible products from colors to cake mixes, all allergen free and kosher. It is recognized as one of the best retail stores in the USA, and their commitment is to supporting and nurturing creativity. Visit the Sweet Chalet Shop, say hello to Marissa from me, and join the sweet journey. And if you visit online, don't forget to use the exclusive discount code Cake Coach 25. That is Cake Coach 25, created just for the listeners of this podcast, and have 20% off total discount of your purchase at the checkout. Thank you so much, Marissa, and thank you to the Sweet Chalet Shop for sponsoring the Art Cake Coach podcast. Hello, my sweet friend. Let me invite you to subscribe to the Art Cake Coach podcast exclusive content platform. By becoming a member, you'll get exclusive monthly content and access to audio classes and workshops on goal setting, time management, social media posting, pricing mindset, and teaching. Get access to exclusive bonus content for only €2.99 a month. Check out the link to subscription platform on the description of this episode. Let me help you on your cake journey and coach you for success here at the Art Cake Coach podcast. Welcome back, my sweet friends. You have no idea how happy I am that the podcast is coming back to Tuesdays. Tuesdays fit. I'm happy about that. But anyway, this part of the episode is about my 5 takeaways from the 5th anniversary of Cake Friends Stay Creative. Last year, I did a whole presentation on the 4 takeaways from the 4th anniversary of Cake Friends Stay Creative. So I went back to the presentation, first of all, to check if any of the takeaways are still valid, and they are. All the 4 of them are, but I'm going to add one more this year. So the first takeaway from last year and still this year is get out of your comfort zone. Yes, that's when Cake Friends Stay Creative, I was totally out of my comfort zone. And if I can add something, I didn't have a clue of what I was doing. Like none. I've never run a cake group before. or any online community. I didn't even know how. I didn't even know, and Facebook had the option of creating communities. I didn't know, but I was like, well, okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and it was out of necessity, and I did it. I got out of my comfort zone, and look how much it has paid off during these years. Without Cake Friends Stay Creative, I've said this 1,000 times. I said it again. Nothing of what I'm doing right now would have been possible. There would not be a podcast. I would never have been a coach. I will never participate in so many collaborations and competitions, go to Cake International, be nominated for awards. None of that would have happened if Cake Friends Stay Creative was never created. So, yes, big big thank you to the universe for uh, making this happen. And for me, you have the idea. Today I heard, and this has nothing to do with it, but I heard a podcast, and this lady said, when you think of somebody great, who do you think about? And she said, for me, I have this idea of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was great, right? Was the best. He was great. He was marvelous. But you know who said that he was great and marvelous? Himself. He introduced himself as the greatest, and he became known as the greatest. Probably he wasn't, but he became known as the greatest. And I thought, I mean, I always tell my community, you have to be your own cheerleader. So today I'm being my own cheerleader. Okay? I've been my biggest supporter. I did it. I got out of my comfort zone and I did it, having no clue of what I was doing. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of me for that. So be proud of you, because who else is going to cheer you up but yourself? That's who really has your back is yourself. Nobody else. Don't expect other people to do what you should be doing. So have your back. Be proud of you. So I'm proud of me. Yes, I said it. Oh, I hope you take it right. So out of comfort zone, 100% recommended. It hurts, is not easy, but it pays off. The other takeaway I had from last year is all about service. Yes. And I think I said it in last year's episode. My mom, who is a person who works with spirituality, alternative medicine, crystal therapy, all of that, meditates, very spiritual being. And she always said it's all about the service, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it until I found my service in serving the cake community without thinking of how much money I'm going to get out of this. It's important to think about the money, but actually, this is not the part where I think about the money, but about the service. It's so rewarding because what you give comes back to you 5 times multiplied. And it's true. I'm not being religious and not being woo-woo. No, nothing of that. It is true. I've lived it in my own skin. So when you serve, and you can think of your business, even though if you're charging, you can think of your business as a service. Because when you do a service, you do it from the heart, you do it with intention, you do it with love, you do it without any expectation, which that doesn't mean that you shouldn't charge. You should charge, but without expectation. And what comes back to you in the most unexpected, most beautiful ways, 5 times multiplied. And it's all positive. So, service is all about the service. Another thing that Cake Friends Stay Created has taught me is consistency. And I always saw myself and define myself by not being a consistent person. But looking back at these 5 years, well, a minute, I have been. I'm always there every week. You have the challenges, you have the business Fridays, you have the social media Wednesday, we have the demos, we have the activities. I talk to my group. I think of activity. I mean, I've been consistent and it has paid off. So I might not be consistent in other areas of my life, but in this I am. And be consistent with your being consistent with your business and persevere. It leads to success. So another takeaway. The fourth takeaway from last year was the importance of community. um, it's major because our work, it's so lonely. We tend to we tend to work by ourselves at our home. We tend to be in our own world, second out everything we do. So we think it's just only us. We think, and we tend to think as cake artists that everybody else out there is our competition and our enemy. And it's a no no. It's all about community. When you combine that service with the community, again, only blessings. And that sense of I'm not alone. I have other people in the world who are doing the same as me, who have the same struggles, who can see myself reflected in them, and we can all support each other. It's priceless. I mean, one of my best friends right now came out of Cake Friends Stay Creative. We travel together, we go to all these events together. Totally, you heard me about her. Uh, I've met so many people from everywhere in the world that have been a blessing for me and that have enriched my life, had made opportunities for me happen. People that I admire that I never thought in my life that could call them friends, and now they're my friends. So community is major, major. So don't overestimate the support of your peers. Don't overestimate the sense of community. You don't need to be alone. You don't need to do it alone. Um, if you feel alone, we are here for you. So that was the takeaway number fourth. Now, number five is going to be a surprise for the last part of the episode. So don't go anywhere because I'll come back with the fifth takeaway from the 5 years of Cake Friends Stay Great. As your cake coach, I am here to help you. If you want to go a little bit further in your journey to organize your time, set clear goals, maybe teach, work on your mindset, or set a roadmap for results, especially for results and success, I am here for you. Why don't you book a free discovery call with me? I will be leaving the links here in this episode so we can chat, we can talk about what you really need, and we can see if we're a good fit for each other. Remember, I have just one mission in this cake world. First is to unite the cake community as one and to make you, my cake artist, my sweet friend, understand the importance of investing in you. Like I said, I will be leaving the links here in the description of this episode so you can book a 30 minutes free discovery call with me. And just remember, in case nobody said this to you today, I do appreciate you and I want you to stay safe and stay creative. Welcome back, my sweet friends. And here I am with the last takeaway from these 5 years of Cake Friends Stay Creative. And I think the one of this year, if I can name one, is responsibility. Cake Friends Stay Creative had taught me how to be responsible, what I just did in the beginning of the episode, take into consideration all the facts and come up with non-biased, responsible, and accurate insight and solution to any issue. To assume responsibility when it's necessary to assume and to be responsible to be there when I need to be there. So, and if I can say so, because of Cake Friends Stay Creative has taught me that, I have been applying this in other areas of my life. So definitely this year word for Cake Friends Stay Creative is responsible. Or responsibility. That will be it. That will be it. To be responsible for all the outcomes, to hold myself accountable, but without the blaming, but learning from it, and changing if necessary and adapting if necessary. Last year I had the goal for Cake Friends Stay Creative to win the award for best online cake community. It didn't happen this year, but it's still a wish for next one. So I'm going to keep working hard for making this happen. My compromise is just to keep being here, keep showing up. My compromise to you is to make this community as useful for you as it can be, and a community where you can receive what you need. That's it. That's my compromise for you. And even though I also need to take care of my business and to make money with it, I will always be here in Cake Friends Stay Creative. And we cannot finish an episode without confession time. Confession time. I have to say, 5 years later, not 5 days, 5 years later, I still think, but you know me, I've told you stories about me and my overthinking. I still think we could have chosen a better name than Cake Friends Stay Creative. I mean, I wanted to be literal to what was happening. Cake friends, we all do cakes and we're friends. We stay together, united by creativity. And but till today, I mean, it's hard for some people to remember or to pronounce it, especially my Spanish speaking friends. um but yeah, but we're not going to change it at this point, right? We're not going to change it. It's going to keep being Cake Friends Stay Creative, as usual, right? And thank you so much, my sweet friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for these amazing 5 years. Thank you for all of that has happened after Cake Friends Stay Creative. And here is cheers to many more years together, and to at least one more for next year, and different activities and different things, or more engaging things. Just keep celebrating, and celebrating you, my cake artist, in the other side of this microphone. Thank you to all for listening. Thank you all for being part of our community. And if you're not part of our community yet, what are you doing? What's happening? There's the link for the community here on the description of the episode. Go check it out and go ask to join, because we have a lot of fun in there. So I say goodbye, as I always say goodbye, my sweet friends. Stay safe and stay creative. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.